And so, you know, as I said, Willie Sutton said he never robbed a bank when a woman screamed or a baby cried. So at least he had some integrity. There was a limit to who he wouldn't kill, he wouldn't maim, he wouldn't hurt a woman, he wouldn't hurt a little baby. But these bank robbers of today, Max, they have no scruples like this. They don't care. They'll pull out their Tommy gun, high-frequency trading, their credit default swaps, their derivatives that are going to blow up your economy, destroy your economy. They're going to take the IMF as the supranational unelected organization that's going to force these debts onto your economy. And that brings us, Max, to the Irish crash, worst since Great Depression. Of course, Willie Sutton was active during the Great Depression days. Ireland's bank crash is the most expensive and deepest of any economy since the Great Depression, says a new IMF report. The fund said that Ireland is the only country to suffer from fiscal costs, increases in public debt, and output losses due to a banking crisis. And it said there's no sign of conclusion in the debt crisis. This came out during the LIBOR scandal, so nobody really paid attention to this. But here's an economy that is in a crisis due to an outright bank robbery.
Yeah, Anglo-Irish. You know, they stole the country's fortunes.
Yeah.
And they still pay off Anglo-Irish because you're right, when the entire population has their money stolen, not just a few people, but men, women, children, everybody, that's a financial genocide. Go to The Hague for crimes against humanity and, you know, take it up on a human rights issue.
Well, Max, again, let's talk about that more specifically because I'm talking about bank robbery. So you said that the Irish people are having to pay the Anglo-Irish unsecured bondholders. Why? Because of the Tommy gun of derivatives, right?
That's right. They're using the weapon of high-frequency derivatives to steal on behalf of the robber barons. And the people live in a state of terror. They live in a terrorized state. That's correct. They've had their wealth stolen. And this is not stopping. As a matter of fact, the central banks are aiding and abetting by making the cost of ammunition cheaper. The ammunition, of course, is 0% interest rates that fuel the high-frequency trading because in order to put on a few $1 billion of high-frequency trades at any given moment, it costs the margin, but if the margin is near zero, then your cost of ammunition is zero. If you make a mistake, then the state bails you out, then that's a subsidy from the state. So you have no risk. You simply take pilfering of all money with no risk, no risk.
But that's what I'm saying is that it used to be in Willie Sutton's day, in the first Great Depression, that you went and robbed a bank because that's where the money is. Now these guys today, the Anglo-Irish guys, the bondholders behind that, the bondholders behind AIG, MF Global, all the world, they're robbing the credit because it's not cash anymore that they seek. They don't go looking for a pile of cash. Jamie Dimon's not looking to hold up a simple little bank for a pile of cash. He freaking runs a bank. It's easy to do that. You're holding up the central banks, the credit of the world.
Right. You're enabling the transfer of wealth from the many to the few by using stolen credit that ends up back in the economy by sky-high prices for Van Goghs and chateaus and other very expensive baubles that end up sitting in the accounts of the top 1% of the top 1% without circulating at all. That's all financed by robbing the banks in the form of using high-frequency derivatives to expand one's credit footprint. You see, the Tommy gun of our age, the high-frequency credit gun. Or as
here they are, Alliance Global Investors France, AXA Investment Managers in Paris, Barclays Wealth Managers in France, PNP Paribas Asset Management, Carnegie Asset Management, Credit Suisse Asset Management, Deutsche Asset Management. All this asset management stuff is running the monies of high net worth individuals. Goldman Sachs Asset Management, ING Investment Managers, Rothschild and Company, Geston, and anyway, Rothschilds, you get the message. Anyway, that's it. Ended didn't know this, and I hope Ended is watching, so you may be able to, if you ring up David Norris in the morning, he's able to get things that apparently the Department of Finance and the Issues Department wasn't able to get, and we get a photostat of this for you Simon, and you can take it to. Is there a cabinet meeting tomorrow? You can pass it around anyway.
I mean, look, I don't think we should be making a joke about this, you know.
It's a bloody joke that you're pretending you don't know about it. That's a joke.
No, it's
or that if you don't know about it, you didn't find out.
The point I've been making.
Here we are giving $1.2 billion to people who probably bought these, as Stephen said, bought these bonds at a huge discount. We're vastly enriching these people, and we're using that money to enrich these people, and at the same time devastating the lives of poor people in this country.
Calling it paying our way.
And that is sickening that we've had to do that.
You couldn't even be bothered knowing who they are. Sorry, finish your point. You get a last word.